What up, positive vibrators tuning in around the world? In today's episode, we have a super talented young artist, Young NTG, repping the Bay Area. He talks about his evolution as an MC, his thoughts on the current climate of the world, and his experiences with some psychedelics. Hope you guys enjoy this episode.
The burnt egg roll?
Yeah, I'm about to pop, I'll take 20 milligrams of these right here, man, and see where it takes us. What is Hercules like? I've never been there before.
It's peaceful, you know what I'm saying? It's like a small city, you know what I'm saying? It's just like residents mostly. Like it's the type of city like we just got a new Safeway, you know what I'm saying? And it was the most packed I've ever seen anything in the city. The grand opening was like, all right, bro.
Crazy.
But I mean, like, I don't know. This is just like a cool place. The thing about it is like, there's not much to do. Like all my friends are like, you know what I'm saying, in Oakland or Richmond, like the main cities.
Mm-hmm.
So when you got to do something, leave Hercules.
Yeah, I did a little bit of research on there because I've heard of it before. So I checked it out on Wikipedia, and the demographics is there's a lot of Asian people in there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think it might be predominantly Asian.
Yeah, it was something crazy. Like I think I want to say something like maybe 40%.
Yeah.
I grew up in East St. Louis, Illinois, and so East St. Louis, Illinois, it's over like 50% African American. So
yeah.
if I go to a Walmart where I grew up, man, you see a good mix of white and black people, but no Asians though.
Man, that's crazy.
So you said you moved around like a little bit, but your main crib is in Hercules then, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mostly Hercules. I live like, I don't know, I was born in Cleveland, you know what I'm saying? Then we moved, like, we was living with my grandma in SF for a little bit. We moved out to Hercules, then we bounced around a little bit, like Richmond, Alameda, and then we came back. We've been here most of my life.
Okay. Got you. Yeah, forgive me if I like bounce around a little bit with questions, like, but yeah, I appreciate you checking out my guy Alien Allen too, man. Like, what did you think of him?
He seems like a cool person. Like I don't know. He seems like just watching your interview with him. Like I feel like it showed me like a lot of his personality. Like I could kind of see what kind of person he is. So his music is dope. I just liked his mindset and his philosophies on a lot of things. It was very different. Like not like what you like. I don't know. Non-conforming seems. He's very non-conforming. I fuck with that.
Yeah, he's an older cat. He's like he's 38 or turning 39 this month. So his mind, I think, has, from what he was telling me, like he went through a lot of like changes in his life. He said like 10 years ago he was more into like the party scene and trying to go out and stuff, but he said that later on as he got older, like it kind of, the novelty of all that stuff kind of wore off, and you know, he's like, there has to be something more to life than all this, you know? So he kind of separated himself from like a lot of the regular stuff like that everybody's doing, you know? And it reflects a lot in his music. Yeah, but yeah, he's dope. How would you describe your music?
I would say it's like, it's all over the place. I think it's like, I could bring like different kind of vibes. It just like depends on like what I'm really on at the time. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'm really focused. So my music will sound very focused. I'm talking about like struggles I done went through. I'm talking about stuff like that. That's like stuff for people that are going through it. I want people to be able to listen to it and be like, okay, there's a way out of it. And there's a way to like make that your story. You know what I'm saying? Like everything you go through is your story. But at the same time, sometimes I could just come crazy, like, you know what I'm saying, I'm high in the booth, you know what I'm saying, I'm drunk or whatever, and I'm just, the beat is speaking to me, and I'm just trying to go all out, wild out.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, I spent pretty much this whole week like listening to a lot of your music, going back to like the Hazy Days, and then the Up Now EP, and then the All In, and I could definitely see the growth like in your from when you first came out. So but also like I think your production that with Sci-Fi the Chemist, like it definitely, I think, brought out a different kind of energy in you. Like talk about how you hooked up with him.
Initially he was working with my pops. He was like with TL, or he wasn't with them, but he was doing music for pops, and I think he had just reached out to me because he had seen me on Pop's page, maybe, or he had just found my profile, and he reached out and he was like, "Yo, what's up? You trying to do some music?" And basically we did the Up Now EP, kind of like starting in like the end of 2019, I believe, like maybe October. I did Up Now, and then
Uh-huh.
through I don't know. I remember I did like 3 songs in like one day, and then
Okay.
like the last song I did like the night before it came out, and like that was just like a start. I think like if you listen to Up Now, it's like it. I don't know. I think All In is like a lot more developed. You know what I'm saying? You
Hmm.
could definitely hear like there was a whole different process going into it. Because really, Up Now, I was recording a lot of those songs like in my car, and like Hazy Days too. Like I was recording in my dorm. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? It was like just trying to get started and make music.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say with his production, like one thing I noticed about his production, he uses a lot of like keyboards or pianos.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
that's kind of like I feel like that was like his kind of like a trademark sound.
He doesn't really use 808s in his beats either. Like it's like it's very unique. I don't know. It just I look at his beats like it helped me look at all beats differently. I look at it like it's almost like a canvas. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's very open. Like the pockets are very like you can do what you want on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, your lyrical content, I feel like it's a lot of it is like you talk a lot about like women and like that. I like that track Cold though, where you're talking more about like drugs and stuff.
Yeah. I feel you. I
I
feel you.
like that. But then also like Break the Bank, like that track where you're talking about shrooms, man, and you seeing with
Yeah.
your one eye. You know, I like how
Yeah.
have you had any experiences with shrooms?
I've had various experiences. Um, honestly, like I'm kind of like I'm falling back on them.
Uh-huh.
Not I don't know. I had like a weird experience, but I was just talking to the homies that I took it with, and it was weird for them too. So I don't know what was going on with that. But like after that, I kind of cooled out. I prefer like acid. Honestly, I feel like they're like similar, but I feel like that speaks to me more. Like I like to make a bunch of music and then trip, and it's like listen to all that, and you kind of see your own progression. It's like really interesting. It sounds like you've never heard it before. Like I don't know. It's trippy.
Yeah, I believe it. A lot of great artists like in the past, I think they made music like the Beatles off of
Yeah.
acid.
Oh, for sure.
But
You listen to the things the Beatles were talking about, it's like, bro, yeah, definitely.
yeah, I've never done acid before, but yeah, I heard it's very similar to shrooms.
Yeah,
And I just started getting into shrooms like within
yeah,
the past like year. Well, I tried them like a few years ago for the first time, and it was kind of like it's I don't think I took enough. Like I was just like feeling kind of like a little bit different, but I felt like more like love, you know?
yeah. That's what it is. You just feel like really happy, kind of feel connected to everything.
Yeah. But I took some this past Saturday, man, and I don't know. Once
Yeah,
again with the dosages, I was just eating them, and like I was playing NBA 2K, and then I was
yeah.
on like a 7 game win streak in the playground, and it kicked in after 7 games, and I was like,
Oh,
why the fuck am I even playing this game right now? And what
no,
happened was I just like laid down. I got off the game, and then I was just
yeah,
laid down, and I just felt like this strange feeling of love, and I just wanted to like, you know, go through my phone and tell everybody that I love them in my phone, like,
that's how it be, honestly.
yeah. Weed is kind of similar to that, but it's not as like intense. I
Yeah,
feel.
yeah. I feel like, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We can give you the same thing like over time. I feel like the
Mm.
same kind of thought process, but shrooms is like more condensed. You know what I'm saying? It just kind of brings it all on.
Yeah. With the All In like album, like with
Yeah,
McFoley, I like that track. I told you on the text, like that shit goes
yeah.
hard to me right there. Like, talk about that. Like McFoley, like that he's a wrestler. Like how did you get that idea for that song right there?
I was saying, off the top Mick Foley, because it's like it's really freestyle. It's like I don't write my music down, so it's like that's what I was really saying off the top. Like you know how he got thrown off the cage, like off the top Mick Foley. But the track was like very like gritty. You know what I'm saying? It had like that. I just like imagine like Mick Foley with the what's that thing, the 2x4 with the spikes on it, man, like that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, man, that track is really like, I think that track is good for people that really want to hear me rap, because a lot of my music is like very melodic now, and I feel like that is like really some cuts where I'm just spitting. You know what I'm saying? Like for real.
Yeah.
I think that.
Okay. Yeah. A couple other tracks too that I was messing with was Little 007, Level
Yeah,
Up. Cold, you know that track, you know, is different because I feel like that's the track for the ladies right there.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Look it up. I feel like that album has like a vibe for everybody.
Hmm. Yeah. I was talking with your guy, Sci-Fi the Chemist, and I
Yeah.
told him I like that track. He said, I don't know if you read the comment. He said that's a panty dropper right there. He had me rolling. I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
I see that. Yeah, yeah, that's what you do. Like, I feel like, yeah, you as a rapper, I think is great. Like I think you have different flows, and also you have the melodic like singing too as well. Like, which is good. What do you see like yourself like progressing into over time?
my progression right now is kind of towards just keeping the box like open. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be in a box. I have like a bunch of different vibes. Like I have R&B kind of whole projects. You know what I'm saying? And I have like more like no auto like rapping type. You know, on some, I wouldn't really say boom bap, but like, you know, on some stuff like that. Like I just have a bunch of different sounds I want to go with that I think are like pretty developed, honestly, because I've been doing music for like 5-6 years now. It's just been like, it took a while to like really get to a point where I felt like I'm dropping stuff that's like really the best that I can do. You know what I'm saying? My next album is like more melodic. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. When do you plan
R&B.
to drop that?
I'm planning on dropping it like sometime like September, basically like in the fall, September, October, probably.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll definitely be checking for that, man. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
who kind of inspired you, or is there any artist or anybody that inspired you to get into rapping?
The artist that most like inspired me, like my style that I have right now and like the way that I approach my stuff is probably Young Thug. Like the way that he delivers his lines, like I feel like almost very like conversationally at times. Like I don't know. I think that's like very that's something that I picked up on and was like very fascinated by, like the way he can do that. And he could go in any genre. Like he has a whole singing album that's like has country vibes and like all that. So it's like, I don't know, it's just the way that he basically like goes out of his way to do something that people don't do. You know what I'm saying? And like haven't done. I like that. Like I just try to come with something that people haven't heard before, really.
Okay. Yeah, Young Thug. I'm gonna have to go take a listen to like a deeper listen to some of his projects. You know, I listened to him on like T.I.'s track that
Right.
Get the Money, and there were some other tracks that he was featured on that I like, and I can see what you're saying with his style and sound.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you should listen to Barter Six and you should listen to Beautiful Thugger Girls. I think those are the first two you should listen to.
those are his projects or songs.
Those are albums. Barter Six is like more like that's more like Street Thug, and Thugger Girls is more that's the one where he's singing. Like, that one's cool.
Oh, okay. The thing with him is like he had that controversy about like his album cover that one time where he was wearing a dress. You remember that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he be doing a lot of stuff like that, bro. I don't
Yeah.
know.
But I guess it's entertainment or it's art. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, what I was saying is I'm inspired by the music. I don't really take that, but you know what I'm saying? It's just, it is. I feel like I don't know if it was for exposure or for what, but he got on top.
No, I think it's important. I think like it, you know, it's at the end of the day, it's like entertainment too, right? So I
Yeah.
think uh, any artist should try to find a way to like stand out and be unique in some way, right? Well,
Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. I feel that's be people's mentality. Like I just got to break through to the world.
yeah, I was reading this book called Ruthless by Jerry Heller, who helped found NWA. Like he drops like a lot of knowledge in that book, and he was saying like there's three things he feels that would take like an artist to superstardom. And
But
the first thing he said was like this artist has to be like either a trailblazer or a innovator. The
yeah,
game hasn't heard or seen anything like it before.
Yeah.
And then two, he said he was like, they just have to be better than everybody else at what they do. And then
Word.
over time they'll stand out. And then the third thing he said was they have to be unique.
Yeah.
In that book he was like, that's the thing with Eazy-E. Eazy-E was very unique. He said like his voice, it was just different. But
Nice.
but yeah, like he talks a lot about like in that book, like how all the work he had to do to get NWA out to the world in public, you know? Like
Yeah.
I think a lot of times people just see the finished product and they don't
Yeah.
and they don't see all the background work that goes into like marketing and promoting and doing but yeah, that's, I think it's important. But like, yeah, it was pretty interesting book. But I was gonna say, like, how do you go about like marketing, promoting? Are you like doing everything by yourself, or you got people that help you out with that?
It's like a little bit of both. I like run ads and like try and get placements, whatever I can myself. But like sci-fi works on that too. You know, I have other friends that like will definitely like send me stuff and be like, you should apply for this, or you should sign up for this, or you should get posted on here. It's just like, I don't know, I have a lot of people that are like solid in the sense that they understand what I'm trying to do and they working with me, like, you know, like part of my team basically. Like we rely on each other for stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, that's good. I was gonna say, like, yeah, I saw you had an interview yesterday. Like, how did that go? I didn't get a chance to listen to it, but how was it?
It was cool, man. It was like my first like live interview. You know what I'm saying? I did another one that's like pre-recorded like last week, but this was my first, like, and it was on the radio, and it was really cool. Like I think it was like cool. We had some good vibes. Like it was like we had a funny conversation, and like at the end, she was like, yeah, Free Bar Friday, we're gonna have to have you kick a acapella. And I was like not prepared at all. I was like, oh man, like I was like trying to stall, bro. I was like, ooh, like I had to come up with something real quick, but I pulled it out at the end. But
Oh, okay.
it was like,
How can we see that interview or episode? Is it somewhere?
it's on her Instagram at revive_POC.
Oh,
I
okay.
post, or there might be a way for me to get it like uploaded to YouTube. I might try and have that happen maybe.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the full interview is up there on her IG.
Yeah, it's on her IG.
I'm gonna peep it out. I didn't want to watch it because sometimes, like, I don't want to, when I talk to people I haven't talked to before, like, I don't want to go in with any like preconceived notions, you know.
Yeah.
I just want it to be like a blank canvas, and okay, we're here and we're talking, you know.
I feel you, bro.
I was gonna say, like, you ever watch that cat Vlad TV?
Yeah, I really like DJ Vlad. I like his interviews a lot.
I don't know, man. Like, you know how there was controversy about him and everybody was calling him like he was working for he was an informant or he's a Fed.
Yeah.
I was watching that and I was like, I can see that though, you know? Like,
I can kind of see it, but at the same time, like, the thing is, like, he just be asking questions. Like, the thing people be saying is like, you don't have to answer those questions. Like if he asked you like on the day of January 19th, you know what I'm saying? Was you involved in a gang robbery or something? You could just be like, yeah, that was me and my boy, or you could be like, I don't know nothing about that, or you could just be like, you say next, probably gonna edit it out, or I mean he'll put it in there, but I mean it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? I think what you say about yourself is like, you know what I'm saying? If you're telling on yourself, nobody can really tell on you. You know what I'm saying? Those videos get hundreds of thousands of views. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's really unlikely that a cop in his district saw that, you know. I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't really think Vlad's the feds though.
yeah, I don't think so either, but I feel like just some of the questions that he asks is like,
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I probably wouldn't ask those, you know.
Yeah, he be interviewing like mobsters and all type of people, and he be asking like real personal questions. I'm like, bro, like I don't know.
But yeah. I think DJ Vlad, he probably smokes weed too, so he probably like is trying to go deep too and trying to see what this person really is about though.
Yeah. He definitely does smoke. He talks about it sometimes with Boozy.
Yeah. Yeah, there was some controversy too with like you ever listen to like Joe Budden's podcast?
Yeah.
You saw what happened with that, where like he just kind of like got into an argument, I guess, with his co-host, and he fired him on.
Man, I didn't see that actually.
Yeah, But
That's why did this podcast end?
oh man,
I
I
saw
don't.
something.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. I don't know if it ended, but I know he. I don't know. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I said he fired him live.
Yeah, it might have been live. I think. I know they were having some issues like a couple like months ago, and then they patched it out over like contracts and stuff. But then,
Man,
like, it just happened like this past week.
man,
But it's interesting stuff, man.
that's crazy.
You listen to Joe Rogan's podcast?
I do. I definitely do. Now, I wouldn't say I've seen every episode, but I like his interviews. I feel like a good interviewer like can bring out the personality of the person they're talking to. I feel like he's great at that.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I used to drive like Uber and Lyft and just listen to Joe Rogan while I got stuck in traffic, and or if I
Man,
didn't have like a passenger in the car. And I was like, that he kind of inspired me to start a podcast. I
yeah,
was like, that's dope, man. You just smoke weed and talk some shit.
and no, that's definitely like I can see that in your style too.
Yeah, thank you, man. He inspiration. Do you ever watch like that Drink Champs podcast?
Drink champs.
Yeah, with Nori.
Oh yeah. I've seen Nori's podcast. Yeah. I like Nori's podcast too.
He likes to have his guests come on and they drink a lot and then they start talking. They get into
Yeah,
their feelings when they start drinking and stuff.
yeah.
But like,
That's smart.
yeah,
He gets good interviews like that probably.
yeah. Someone was asking him. He was like, "You need to get like younger artists on your show." And Nori was like, "Nah, I don't want to do that, man." Because then he's like, "I'm not a journalist," which is true. Like if you are, I think, talking with like younger artists that aren't as known, like they don't their
Hmm.
story isn't out there in the world, so you really have to like kind of like dig deep to like try to have formulate some better questions. But like he like interviews like more of like his peers,
Yeah,
and so like a lot of them, like he grew up around or he known through the industry, so I think it's a little bit easier for him to just like go off the cuff and ask questions.
yeah.
Another thing I noticed in your music, you have a lot of like basketball references. Like,
Yeah.
who's your team, man?
Golden State, man. Gotta be.
Yeah.
Gotta be. Not a KD fan though, I'll let you know. But Golden State for sure.
Yeah. What do you think their chances are this year? Are they in the playoffs, or are they gonna have to probably play in, right?
They're gonna have to play in. Yeah. I think our chances are good if we beat Memphis. Cause then we're 7-8. We could either beat the Lakers or even if we lose, we have another shot. You know what I'm saying? So I think we're probably gonna make it into the playoffs, but after that, I'm not really sure. I think next year we probably are gonna have a much better chance because if we get a good pick from the T Wolves, because I think they just messed up their chances of getting a top 3 pick. So if we get that pick, we got Wiseman, Clay is coming back, we got Draymond, we got Steph. I think that's definitely a chip team for sure. But we're
Yeah.
gonna see.
Yeah.
And Wiggins, forgot about Wiggins.
Hmm.
Hooper. And so I think our bench is gonna be great. I think we have a solid future.
Yeah. I think if Klay Thompson comes back anything like he was pre-injury, like because that team
Yeah.
with that core with Curry, Thompson, and Draymond Green, they went 72-10 pretty much, or was 70, or no, not 72. Sorry, 73-9.
Wiseman is gonna be able to do more work than Bogut did for that team. And I think Wiggins is gonna be able to do more work than Harrison Barnes did. So I think it's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun to watch for sure.
Yeah. What do you think about that though? Like the play-in, do you like that style or do you prefer like the old style?
I'm gonna have to watch it to see how it goes. But I I don't know. I like the old style. I don't know. It's just because it's new. I think just because it's new, I'm like a little apprehensive. But like I think when I watch it, it might be interesting. But I wish they would have came up with a more creative name than the play-ins. I feel like they could have even called it the wild card, but they like playoffs, this play-ins. Like I don't know. I feel like because it's the wild card in every other sport, right? So
Yeah.
I was just like, man, yeah, it's like a little mini tournament.
Yeah, you're right. And I think anytime something is new, like sometimes it takes time for people to
Yeah,
adapt to it.
yeah,
But I think probably the reason why is just probably because of like the pandemic. They had to kind of like switch it up because the season started a little bit later.
Yeah.
and it's just different. It's just been different.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I feel is for the teams that grind hard all season, and then they still have to play in. You know?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's like, what if, like, I don't know. What if Curry sprains his ankle? Like, what if we beat Memphis, but Curry sprains his ankle? It's like now we don't have a whole series for him to get better or even like to have a shot. It's just like we have 2 games now. I don't know. It's like things like that. Like little stuff can like really mess up your whole. You could be the 7th seed and you could lose 2 games and it's over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
That's the only thing I'm thinking about.
Yeah. But then it does make it a little bit more exciting because it's kind of like the NCAA tournament. It could be one and done, man. It's good for the
Yeah,
fans. I think the fans will be like, "Oh shit."
yeah, for sure. I think it's gonna be intense.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to listen to J. Cole's new work?
Nah, I haven't gotten to listen to it. I listened to the single, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. I was
Yeah.
supposed to listen to that last night.
I listened to the album yesterday, like when I was walking in the morning, and I think the thing about J. Cole, man, that like I feel like his rapping, he's a good rapper, but at the same time, like one thing I noticed about him is his content, like it's very relatable.
Yeah,
I feel like he's rapping his truth, you know?
yeah, definitely.
I think that's important for like artists is to sing or rap their truth, and because I think the fans, they want to know like who the artist is, you know, as a person. And one thing he said on his new album, he was like, I think it was a song called "Applying Pressure." If there's any track on there that I feel like you should check out, it's that song. It's good. But he talks about like how a lot of artists they rap about certain things, but then they're living check to check, and
Yeah,
and they're struggling to pay their like lease and shit, you know, on their whips
yeah,
and stuff. And I was like, damn.
yeah.
What are your thoughts as far as like, I guess going back to you, like with your like lyrical content, like how do you see yourself like progressing with that over time?
Like thing for me is like I feel like I get better. I get better at making music. Like or I get better at rapping, or my music gets better when I go through something. Like a lot of times, if I feel like I'll try and be in the stew too much, and it's just like I start rapping about whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because I done already got a lot of stuff out. But you know, I don't know. As I get older and like wiser, I feel like my content kind of evolves. You know what I'm saying? So it just be taking time, really.
Yeah,
As my life changes too, my content is gonna change with that. Different
yeah,
situation.
for sure, definitely. When I listen to your music, I feel like you're rapping your truth, or you're not trying to be anybody that you're not,
Right.
which
Right.
I think is good.
I think that's yeah, it's important. I mean, like I feel like some of my older music, like you listen to, I don't know if you said you listened to Rich by the First, but that tape I feel like was like me just trying to imitate like people I was listening to at the time, like Thug, '03. You know what I'm saying? I was just trying to like sound like people that I liked. You know what I'm saying? Like a little too much. And after I dropped that, I remember like stepping back and like taking time off and like really trying to work out like how can I translate my life and like my emotions and my thoughts into my music. You know what I'm saying? Because I could say like I'll fuck your bitch and make it sound cool, but like you know what I'm saying? It's like how could I like something real and make it sound like how could I, even if I'm still talking about stuff like that, how could I drop in some like really real like some knowledge or some stuff like that that like you might not even catch on the first time, but drop some stuff in there like it's really like authentic to me.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. That's one thing that I see like is hard for like, you know, some artists is to like, because when I think about music, like I'm 37 years old now, and I was more into music like when I was like a teenager and in my early 20s. That's when I really like listened to music.
Yeah.
And like the older I get, it's like almost like I still have that love for like music, but I have to like really like get into like new music. I have to like set time and really sit there and say, okay, I'm gonna really try to understand, you know, this artist. What are some things you feel like you could talk about that would be more like relatable to like more people?
Just my day to day like stuff that I'm going through, like, cause really, I mean, everybody like, not to say everybody lives the same life, but everybody has problems. You know what I'm saying? Everybody struggles and goes through shit. So it's like you basically I'm just trying to like put my experiences out in a way that's like other people might be able to understand better. You know what I'm saying? Like how can I depict a situation? Like I don't know. When I go into the booth now, it's like I have to know what I want to make the song about. You know what I'm saying? I used to just be able to like, I don't know, when I first got my like setup, I had like the blankets, you know what I'm saying? And it worked pretty good. So I was just like, man, this is like a studio. So I made like, I was doing like 20 songs a month for like 3 months, like 20, 25. And I was like going crazy, but it's like, I felt like at a certain point, I started like running out of like new stuff to say. So I had to like stop and like really kind of just live life, bro. You know what I'm saying? And just experience stuff, you know what I'm saying? And I came back and I was like, I have a whole different mindset now. You know what I'm saying? Because you really you grow and you evolve every day if you live in life the right way. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? You get a little bit smarter and a little bit, you know, you always evolving. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like give me a couple weeks and my mindset's gonna be different because some things I was doing a couple weeks ago might not be working now. So it's like my mindset's always changing.
Yeah.
I have a lot of new music. Like All In is like, I have albums that are like before All In and I have albums that are after, and they're all like, I'm just trying to figure out the best way to put them all out in a way that will convey like what I'm trying to really convey.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think the album with Break the Bank is going to be next.
I like that Break the Bank, man. Cause last night I was listening to all your singles too, and I was like, that Break the Bank, that one stands out in my mind. I just like the vibe on it and your lyrical content on there. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah. About car.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said I actually made that song about car.
Oh yeah. Yeah. How do you record in your car?
It's not easy, man. Like the way I would do it, sitting in the driver's seat, I just get the mic and like position it in a way like I move my seat so it's like balanced with the steering wheel and the seat, and it's kind of leaning towards me. I'd like lean back a little bit so I'm not super close and roll up the windows. The acoustics in my old car were pretty good. I don't know about this car, but some songs they sounded like they weren't recorded like correctly, but some songs they actually like Break the Bank sounds pretty good. I listened to that next to like songs I did in the studio and it sounds good.
Yeah. Like, how did you get that idea? Like, was it because you were forced to record in your car, or like you just had that idea one day to try it out?
Honestly, like my freshman, I don't know. It was like my freshman year, I recorded in my dorm, just like when my roommate was like in class or he wasn't there. Like I figured out his schedule, so I had time to record. Like I don't know. Eventually, like I think my sophomore year, I think it was like my junior year. I just really wanted to record because I had made a lot of music during the summer and I didn't want to lose my momentum. So I was just like, how can I record here? Because I had all my equipment. And I was just like, the car is probably like a good idea. Like, you know, so I just tried it a couple of times and it was working pretty well. So I was like every night just like making songs. I made a bunch of songs. Like, I don't know. I was at school in that term. I was like, actually like, I don't know. I got sick and I was like making music while I was sick, but I wasn't going to class. And I ended up having to like withdraw from that semester because I was just like, I don't know. I think I was getting more sick because I was just up all night recording.
Have you seen this music video called Smoke and Drive by Machine Gun Kelly? I thought of that because like when you're talking about recording in your car, like that song right there, he's the music video at least is like in his car. I think it's live. He might be recording it live in his car, but it's a dope track too, man. I wish I could I'll pull it up later, man, or you can pull it up on your own time. But like, I think you'll fuck with this song. But it's interesting because he has a mic set up in his car too. And he's just rapping over this dope beat, by this artist named Mike Posner. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's from Detroit. You ever heard of this guy?
I don't think so. He's a rapper or a producer?
He's this white dude that went to Duke University, and he came up in Detroit with Big Sean. And he put out a couple like pop songs or like pop albums. Like he was trying to be like a pop singer while he was at Duke, but he would rap a little bit, and he made that beat Smoke and Drive that MGK was rapping over in his car. But this guy Mike Posner, he went from like, he has a crazy story, man. He got pretty big, I guess fairly big as like a pop star, but then something happened, like his pops passed away, and then he I guess he kind of like went into like a different, just kind of like became more reclusive from everybody, and then he probably went through some like spiritual journeys and stuff, and then when he came back as an artist, like his whole style was totally different, man. He was like a very like spiritual, like holy type of guy. So just a total like 180 from what he started out as. But yeah, sorry about that. I say all that because you have me thinking about recording in your car.
Man, I feel you. Reminds me of like Mace, like how he was like at the top of the game, and then he was just like found God, and he was just like, man, this stuff is like, it's not right what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? He turned around and he was making like different kind of music.
Yeah, but then he came back with G Unit for a while. You saw that?
Yeah,
You remember that?
he did.
Yeah, I like Mace. I think he changed the game a lot.
Yeah,
back in his time.
Yeah, for sure.
He's dope. The edibles are starting to kick in. Like I can't feel my face a little bit right here.
You tell, man.
Let me see. I'm trying to see what else. Because I wrote down some stuff here, but sometimes when the weed starts working, man, I lose my train of thought.
Man, I feel you.
But who is your top 5 MCs?
Are we saying like who do I think are the greatest, or who are my favorite?
Let's do both. I want to see who do you feel like is your top 5 greatest, and then who is your like top 5 that you personally listen to? Because I know it could be different.
I feel like the top 5 greatest is probably, you gotta throw Pac on there. I say you gotta throw. That's the hard one right there. I say you throw Jay on there.
Jay-Z, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
definitely a legend.
You might have to throw Big on there.
Yep.
I feel like the old school. I'm naming like old school artists, 'cause I feel like they were like the pioneers. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
I say Wayne.
Little Wayne, he was the artist that evolved a lot too over time.
Yeah.
Like from when he first came out. But I think that was a good move. You know, he came out very street in the beginning.
Yeah.
But then he turned into like a Martian skateboarder over time.
Yeah.
But I feel like that helped him maintain a little bit in the game. You know what I mean?
You got to be able to reinvent yourself for sure. He was good at that.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry to cut you off. Yeah, one more.
I might have to go with Ye as like a rapper producer. Like, yeah, musical genius, man, for sure.
He definitely reinvented himself too over time. I think.
Yeah.
He's an entertainer. He's an entertainer for sure, though. Top 5 current, or top 5 that you feel that you listen to the most.
I'll still put Pac on there. I would say Thug. I would say 03 Greedo. I would probably say
that's an interesting choice right there, 03 Guido, because not a lot of people, I think he's not like over super mainstream yet, right?
Yeah, definitely. He's locked up, man.
Oh, he is?
Hopefully, yeah, bro. He's been locked up since he dropped God Level. He's got a long sentence too, bro. I don't know if he's gonna get out like anytime soon. So it's like tragic, man. But
is he from the Bay Area?
He's from LA. He's from Watts.
Oh, okay. The only reason I know about him is because like I live stream NBA 2K at night sometimes, and I turn my song requests on, and there's a kid from like Livermore up in the Bay Area, and that's like one of his favorite artists. Guido, so he always be playing his songs, but he has a good sound though. I see it.
Yeah, I like Guido.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry about that.
I don't even know how many that was. I was like 3.
Yeah.
Like the Guido. Maybe put Kanye on there too, like old Kanye. Oh, Kendrick. I forgot Kendrick on the Ghost list too. He should probably be on there.
What was your favorite Kendrick project?
I like Good Kid, Mad City. Yeah. I feel like that one really hit for me. I like all of his albums though. I mean, To Pimp a Butterfly is like, that's like a classic. You know what I'm saying? Damn, I like Damn too, but I think Good Kid, Mad City like was like my favorite. I get the whole vibe to the project. I feel like it was super dope.
That album was kind of like a movie from like, I think from top to end. Like it's kind of like he paints a good picture of like, I guess his life in Compton, which is different, you know, than I think he came different than a lot of like artists that come out of Compton, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
I think the thing that resonates with a lot of people with his music is that you could tell he's not trying to be nothing that he's not, you know?
Right.
Like he's just straight from the heart, and just like his thoughts on what he sees. So
Right.
I fuck with Kendrick too, man. Top 5 ballers.
Top 5 ballers.
NBA.
I got I got Mike for sure. I got Steph Curry. I got Bron. We picking like a starting 5 or just greatest?
Just who you feel like you think is the greatest in your mind, because to me all that I've had many arguments with different people, and to me that's like it's all subjective, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whoever you feel like is the shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I got MJ, Bron, Steph. I got Kobe,
Yep.
and probably I'm teetering between like Shaq or like Wilt, because I gotta throw a big man on there. I say Wilt achieved. I think Shaq. Yeah, you can't stop Shaq in his prime, so I'm gonna have to go with Shaq. But Wilt was, I don't know. The league was different back then too.
Yeah.
It was like it's hard. It's hard to equate. But nobody scored 100 points since that.
Yeah, that's the one reason why I would probably never put Wilt in my top 5, is because, like you said, the league was different, man. He's balling against a bunch of white dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's unathletic white dudes, so it's easier for him, I feel, to like get off. You know.
Yeah.
And the league was smaller too. There was like a smaller talent pool at that time. So
Yeah. That's the thing.
If he played in modern league today, there's no way he'd be getting them kind of numbers, man.
Nah, he's not catching 50 rebounds in the modern league.
Hell no. Yeah, I like your Steph Curry choice though, because
Yeah.
I think he will probably go down, I feel like, as one of the most like underrated superstars, I feel.
Yeah.
But he definitely changed the game as far as like how the game is played, because before that there wasn't players shooting at such a high amount volume of 3-pointers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like there's a lot of young players now that like play, like Trae Young. I feel like is a product of that style of play.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like there's a lot of players that like rely on the 3 ball now heavily. That's like their most. James Harden does that a lot too.
Yeah, I thought you might have put Kevin Durant in there, but what are your thoughts on KD?
I think he's a great player, but I don't know. It's just like the way that he left OKC. Even though the Warriors are my team, it's like it was like I wasn't rocking with that. Like I feel like you straight joined the enemy. That's crazy. I don't know, because we won 73 games the year before, and like they were up 3-1. Like they could have just won one game and they would have been in the finals. And it's just like, I don't know. And the fact that he wasn't like, he was telling Westbrook that he was gonna stay the whole time, like up until like Westbrook saw it on the news, and then he like, I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. I don't really feel. I don't like the way he did that. But it's good. He's in Brooklyn now. He dealing with Kyrie.
Yeah.
You know, I saw something about with KD and Kyrie online, man. It was funny, right?
Oh yeah.
It was like a clip of Kyrie talking to KD on live, and he was like, in my past life, I was you. Like he was he was going super deep, bro. And KD's just sitting there like nodding his head, like he's trying not to laugh.
Yeah, Kyrie, he's on something else, man. Kyrie, his mind is different. It's different. That's all I'm gonna say, man.
It's different.
I won't say it's not good or it's not bad. It's just different. You know, he's like outside of basketball. I feel like he's in his own world.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but I respect that. I respect that what you said about KD, man, because that's exactly how I feel, man, about Kevin Durant. Like, I feel like that's such a sucker move right there.
Yeah, I feel like that's like, I don't know.
Like, as a competitor, I would be like, yo, man, we had these fools down 1-3, you know, or 3-1, and then they came back and got 3 on us. Man, I got to come back and beat them, you know?
Yeah, like, I don't know, not like go join them.
Yeah, like, I don't really count those championships, but
yeah, like he doesn't win those if he doesn't come here. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, But I feel you though, as a
It's like
Warrior.
he's on a super team now too, so it's like I don't know. I feel like his legacy will always be tainted because of that in a way.
Yeah,
People will always look at it like, well, he went and joined the 73-9 Warriors. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I agree. I agree 100. Who do you like this year, like in the NBA, like to win the championship?
I don't know, man. Honestly, because the Warriors, initially the Warriors were like not even in it, so I haven't been watching that much. But I feel like I don't know if the Lakers are going to be able to bring it back because they're dealing with a lot of injuries right now, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's,
yeah.
I
They're
don't know. I think anybody that really brings it all together could do it because I feel like I don't really know if there's like a strong contender. I think Brooklyn's probably a strong contender, but I feel like I don't really know how their chemistry is going to work. I think they might make it to the finals, but I don't know. I can see a meltdown happening with that team because there's star personalities that I don't really think mix at all. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. I feel
yeah,
you. That's exactly how I feel too. I feel like yeah, it takes more than a few months, to get chemistry, and they haven't even played like all to in these past few months. It hasn't been like they've been playing together.
I think they've played like 7 games together, like all together.
Yeah, I think and also like the playoffs is a different game because like the game slows down and the defenses everybody starts to clamp up a little bit harder. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think their offense is gonna always be good, but then I don't know if like Kyrie and James Harden can clamp up that like that. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's what I was about to say. James Harden is known for his weak clamps, man. He's
Yeah,
you don't see what happens.
yeah. It does take a lot too from like your energy. Like if you're playing like hard defense, and then you
Yeah,
got to go to the other end and
yeah,
still get buckets, man. Like not too many players can do that. Like great. Like I think Kawhi Leonard, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, like they could do that. They'll clamp you up and still get buckets on the other end. But
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if Harden and Kyrie have that in them. But I guess we'll find out.
yeah. We'll
Cause
see.
yeah, I mean like they got like um in the East they have some teams that are not that bad. Like the Bucks, the Heat, the Sixers, the Celtics
Yeah,
in a
definitely.
series. Like and they have good team defense.
Yeah,
Do you have any like favorite movies or TV shows that you're watching right now?
I don't really watch that much movies or TV. I just saw Click. It's like an old movie. I don't know if you see it with Adam Sandler. It tripped me out. I'm not gonna lie. It was trippy. Had me rethinking my whole life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just be watching. I throw on ridiculousness as some background.
What is that show about?
Ridiculousness is they be showing the clips. It's Rob Dyrdek and Chanel West Coast on there. They it's like I don't know. It's kind of like America's Funniest Home Videos if you ever seen that, but like a modern version. I don't know. It's not too many shows on TV that I'm really like following right now.
Yeah, got you. Do you ever get into like conspiracy theories?
I do a little bit. I try not to go too far down the hole, but I do a little bit. You into those?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I am, but sometimes it gets hard. It gets hard for me to try to like think about like what is real and what is fake, Because I feel like sometimes, like a lot of times, man, everything that they show us, is not what it seems. Just like my guy Alien Allen was talking about. Have you seen that movie, The Village?
Nah, I haven't seen it. I
Oh,
think I saw what you're talking about with Alien Allen.
oh, okay. So he kind of explained it, but it was like just these people that are like living in modern time, but they're living like off the grid, like in a small, like a secluded area away
Yeah,
from normal society, but it's like
yeah,
present day though.
yeah,
And so I feel like some of that stuff might be real, man. Like there might be places like that are just secluded and like people they just live in their own world.
there are definitely places like that. There's like an island. I don't know if you've ever heard of this. There's like an island that's like they're still living like I don't know. It's like I don't know
Yeah,
where it's located. They're
yeah,
still living like primitive like lifestyle, and like people have tried to like go there and like contact them, and they just like are super hostile, bro. They've like killed people on boats, bro. they've like thrown spears and all type of shit. Like they're fucking like, so it's just like, I think that island is like off limits. You just like can't go there because they're like super, they're just leaving them alone down there.
Yeah. Like what does that like make you think or feel when there's like places like that that we know in the world that exist today that they just don't really care, or they just don't know about, you know, what we're mass programmed to believe.
It's wild, but it just shows you that at the end of the day, it's like societal programming is like real, because we all, I mean, we're the same, like we're the same, we're all humans, just like those people on that island. It's just like they live a whole different lifestyle. Their mindset is different. Like they see like a helicopter or a boat and they're like, what is that? You know what I'm saying? They're tripping out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we're conditioned to like understand all this stuff because we're raised in this society. You know what I'm saying? But it's like that stuff is really all programming.
Yeah. That makes me think like what is really right and what is really wrong, you know?
Yeah, for real.
A lot of
Like a
time.
lot.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I think a lot of it depends on your society, is like your societal views, because I think it's like the society you live in is going to dictate like what you think is right and wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because like in different cultures, it's like different things are acceptable. You know what I'm saying? You go to like Africa, you know what I'm saying? Dude's got 20 wives. You know what I'm saying? But over here, that's like illegal. You know what I'm saying? You can't even do that. So you know what I'm saying? It's like stuff like that. You know, it
Yeah.
just depends on culture.
I was gonna say like one of my favorite R&B singers of all time is R. Kelly, and piggybacking off of what you were saying is like if R. Kelly was doing what he was allegedly doing, like in like some countries in Asia, like that would be legal, man.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying, like it's different in different parts of the world. Like people are completely different. The society, but it's like societal standards are set by whoever, the government, damn near, or just like coming up, you know.
Yeah, even in America, like because everybody looks to the president, right? Everybody is looking for somebody to blame, and the president just happens to be the face of the country, so they're always looking to, they need somebody to blame. But
Yeah,
a lot of times, like the United States is so big, there's so many states that it's hard for one man to like set the laws for all states. So
right,
I think, you know, that's where like a lot of times, because all states, they're all governed differently and they have different laws based off, I think, economics and uh, just what people have been accustomed to doing for so many years. Have you ever traveled internationally?
I've been to Jamaica. That's the only place I've been.
Yeah.
It's,
What was Jamaica like for you?
Jamaica was cool. It was like I like the weather and just like I don't know the people. I just like how they talk. I don't know. It's just like it's just it rolls off the tongue, bro. Like the way they be talking. I don't know. It was nice. Like, but you know, it's also like in Jamaica is like also like cities with a lot of poverty. You know what I'm saying? So seeing that is like also like you know just enlightens you on how other people are living in different parts of the world.
Yeah. Did you ever go like off the grid from like the nicer parts of Jamaica? Because you know how sometimes it's like they have like the resort area, and then
Yeah,
they're like,
yeah,
"Don't go here, man."
yeah, yeah. No, we did like we traveled through some areas. You know what I'm saying to go get to somewhere else, but we didn't really stop too much. We went to like restaurants and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Just to like get a scene of the culture. We wasn't old enough to go to the club yet, but you know what I'm saying? We would have went there. It's definitely like a move. We're gonna go back to Jamaica for sure.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Yeah, it's always good, I think, to like experience like cultures outside of what you know. Sometimes it trips me out like that there's people like that where I grew up, and I'm sure places where you grew up, that like people never leave like their environment.
Right.
So like their scope of reality is a lot smaller. That kind of trips me out. It's kind of like similar to what you were talking about with like the islands and stuff.
Yeah. Like that in America too. Like different communities like have different kind of societal views. Like some things in the hood are acceptable that, you know what I'm saying, in other places are not. You know what I'm saying? It's like the culture, there's like subcultures, a lot of subcultures in America.
Yep.
That's what I was being diverse. There's a lot of like different at least in California I know.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm sure the Bay Area, LA, where I'm at, like that's one thing. Like when I was driving like Uber and Lyft,
Yeah.
like I had to go to different parts of LA that I'm like, people in LA, that grew up out here, born and raised, they probably would never go to this spot ever in their life.
Yeah.
But but LA, man, it's such a big like city, like the square mileage and stuff, and it just
Yeah.
changes from like you can go from like one area will be like this, and then you drive like a mile, and then it changes to this, and just it's just very diverse, and yeah, it's just it trips me out sometimes when I think about it, man.
Definitely, man.
All right, let's get it, man. I'm high already, but fuck it. Let's see if we have one more good run. All right, cheers, my friend.
Cheers, bro.
I think another reason why like my lungs have been kind of hurting is because like I got some shitty weed, man.
Sometimes the weed just make you cough a little bit more, but not a lot. It's
Like
true.
I was trying to save some money, man. So I bought some outdoor grown weed, and you don't know what they be putting in that outdoor stuff, like the pesticides and stuff. You know, it's a little bit
Really?
more risky, but
Yeah.
I think that may be contributing to my like my chest. So I took a break, but we'll see. It's all good. No, but we were talking about oh yeah, the pandemic stuff, man. Like
Yeah.
what was your thoughts, man, when that happened?
I felt like I was going in a certain direction. I was like very I was very like I was becoming very social. Like I was going out a lot. I feel like, and it was like right, like I had just started to like enjoy like going out and doing stuff like that. Right when like the pandemic and everything shut down, so I was like, damn. I feel like I had all this energy. You know what I'm saying? I was just like I had to put it into something. So I like made like the makeshift booth with the blankets at first. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like recording other songs, like I was saying.
How far do you see yourself going in this rap game?
I mean, I want to be able to do it like earn a living off it, but like be able to like take that money and like invest it into other things. 'Cause I have other ideas like business ventures, like besides, you know what I'm saying, doing music. It's like I want to be able to have those things ready like for me when I'm ready to like stop doing music. You know? I definitely want to like be heard and like make my mark. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I feel like I want to be smart with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I don't want to be doing it like after when I'm not trying to. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be caught like making music just to make it like check to check. You feel me?
yeah, I feel you. Yeah, I definitely see the potential. Like when I listen to all, especially All In, your newest project, like I see it, man. Like you have like the good like rapping, but also like you can sing, and yeah, you could just hold your own, you know. Like I hear it.
Appreciate
You just gotta. I think it's just, yeah, evolving, as you said. You know what I mean? Like
you. Yeah,
gaining more life experiences and then putting it into your art.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
I guess expanding like content.
Yeah.
Are you a reader?
You mean like do I read books?
Yeah,
I try to. You know what I'm saying? I try to read like books on like stuff that I'll be interested in, like music marketing and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I'll read those occasionally, but I haven't really sat down and read like a good story book. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Are you in? You said you're in school now.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I hated school, man, because like I feel like they will put a lot of information in our brain that we don't really use. You know what I mean?
yeah. No, I honestly I feel the same way. I feel like a lot of the stuff that they teaching us is just like, um, especially because like me, I've always wanted to do music, so it's kind of just like a lot of it is just like in one ear and out the other. It's just like you just need to remember for the test, and it's like you forget it. I feel like a lot of it is just like trying to keep us in the system and paying. You know what I'm saying? When really we could go in there and just start with our degree. You know what I'm saying, and earn that. Specification. You know what I'm saying? But I think the idea is they want everybody to have general education, but it's like a lot of that stuff doesn't even really matter.
Yeah, I heard that like the most like people need is like education, like the mass program like education. Like I think the most they need is like up to like eighth grade. I heard, and,
Really?
and yeah, and then after that, like everything else they can like learn like on the job. You know?
Yeah, I feel like that's true. Honestly, I
Yeah,
feel like 8th grade, it wasn't like too much new stuff I was learning. It was just like, you know what I'm saying, just trying to pass the class.
I agree, but I think that's good that you're like reading books about like things that will help your career. You know, I think that's important.
I feel like I'm more of like a visual learner though. Like I'll watch on YouTube talking about something, and it'll like really click for me a lot faster. Just hearing different people talk about different ways that they approach something will give me more ideas. I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's good. Like any way you choose to like download information into your brain, whether it's books, listening to things, I do that too. I try to listen to older people talk like on YouTube that have been through a lot of shit in their life, you know? And it gives you more ideas. Reading books though, like I think the one thing that I was gonna tell you is like reading, like when I read like books about like people's lives, like autobiographies, like it puts things in a different type of context for me. Because I think you have to take more time to like read books and really sit there and try to concentrate on what you're reading, so you can like I guess I soak in like kind of like the information, the time context. I think because sometimes talking is just like kind of like fast information. Sometimes it comes in and it comes in quick, and there's many different. You're getting information from like different directions. But then when I have to like read a book like Kevin Hart's autobiography that I read, like when I was reading Kevin Hart's autobiography, I was like, damn, this man, he went through so many struggles in his life to get to where he got to today. And when I read it, it puts things in like a different type of context than just listening to somebody talking about it. So I don't know. Are you into like autobiographies at all?
I read the Gucci Mane autobiography. That's the one I read in full through.
Oh yeah, how was it, man? Like, what did you learn from his book?
It was interesting, bro. I just learned a lot about like how his upbringing, like in his family, and like how he really became Gucci Mane. Like, you know what I'm saying? All the stuff he went through. It was just like, it was interesting. It's like interesting to see something from somebody else's whole perspective. It gives you a different like understanding of why they do the things they do. You know what I'm saying? Because Gucci Mane is like, for a long time, he was like the boogeyman, bro. Couldn't nobody, you know what I'm saying, get no idea of what he was trying to do. You know what I'm saying? He was just wild. You know what I'm saying? But it's interesting to see like what led to that.
Yeah.
What that, you know, what was going through his mind at that time, stuff like that.
Yeah. Who do you fuck with more, Gucci Mane or Young Jeezy?
I think Gucci is more entertaining to me. I think just like, I don't know, as a person, I think he's entertaining. But I like Jeezy. I don't know. I like both of them, to be honest. I think they both like to come out at the same time. You know what I'm saying? They both have the same like, I mean, a similar cultural impact to the point where it's like they come back for verses and it's like, you know what I'm saying, crazy. It's like I think they both did their thing for sure.
One thing I was gonna tell you, man, like I'm pretty high right now.
Yeah.
But that's not what I was gonna tell you. This is what I was gonna tell you. I was gonna say one thing I like about you is that you have a dad that's in the game. That, you know, he's a legendary artist in the game. But one thing I like about you is you don't use him to like promote your work.
Yeah, I try not to, because I feel like you don't want to like, I don't know. It's in the 48 Laws of Power. You don't want to try walk in the shoes of a great man. You know what I'm saying? You can't do it. So I'm just trying to, you know, fit my own shoes and, you know what I'm saying, walk my own shit out.
Yeah. No, I was going to say that's dope that you know about that book, The 48 Laws of Power, man.
Yeah.
How much did you get into that book?
I read through it. I have like everything written down kind of like in a way that makes sense to me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I think I should go back and read it again probably, like, and be more thorough with it. But I don't know. I got a lot out of that. Like, I like just having them written down and just going back and looking at them sometimes and just like being like, okay, maybe I could do this different. Maybe I could move different like this. Because, you know, it's just like, it's an interesting philosophy. Like,
I've read most of that book. I didn't finish it all the way yet. I think I probably read maybe like, maybe something into like the 20s, like the 20 like laws up to there. But the thing I like about that book is that it pulls from like, different philosophies, not just, you know, he doesn't focus on just one group of people. Like he really breaks it down, because different, like we talked about earlier, like different societies, they live differently,
right?
So it's good in that book. I think it breaks it down like from different societies' perspectives on what they did in the past to become, I guess, whatever success they felt they wanted to be in their mind, right?
Yeah, yeah. I like how they do that. Like it's like they take a lot of references through history and like we'll show you like this right here. Like they'll explain the law and they'll be like this right here is an example. I like how they do that. They break it down.
Yeah. Did you read that 50th Law with 50 Cent and the same author?
Nah.
Oh, okay. That's a good read. Like Robert Greene, the dude that wrote 48 Laws of Power, like
Yeah.
he wrote a book with 50 Cent called The 50th Law, and in that book, like 50 Cent talks about how the book is basically about fear, like,
Mm.
and what 50 Cent was talking about was like after he got shot that many times, and he was in the hospital, like he was thinking, he's like, man, if I survived that, man, like what else should I fear?
Yeah. That's facts. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, that whole book is about like focusing on fear, you know, how doing things like to get over fears in our mind. Yeah. It's an interesting read, man. I think if you have time, man.
Definitely. That sounds interesting.
I've never did acid before in my life, man, but I've always
Yeah.
been curious about it.
It's interesting. It's just like you gotta be able to tell yourself that it's just a drug. I feel like they always say you gotta be like in a good mental space. You know what I'm saying? Maybe like running from stuff because it's gonna come up. It's kind of like shrooms. You know what I'm saying? In that way.
Yeah. Like if you do it like one time, do you feel like you can go out in public and operate still?
I think I could if I had to, but like I've like I don't know, cause like I've tripped like with the homie in like Golden Gate Park, and then like we linked up with some other homies like at the mall,
Uh-huh.
and it was super weird, like talk to them like I don't know, bro. It was like me and my homie were on this one vibe, and they were just like regular. They were just not on the same wavelength that we were on, bro. So it was like weird. It was hard to take, honestly.
I could see that for sure, man.
I
Like,
could just be like by myself, you know what I'm saying? Or just like with some close homies, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, I can see that because everybody I think around you brings like different kind of energy, right?
Right.
Like everybody has the ability to bring energy out of somebody else. It could be you can try to bring good energy, or you could bring like bad energy out of
Yeah.
somebody. And if people are in different moods at one time, I can see how like
Yeah.
the energy could be off. You know, you just feel it, right?
Yeah. Definitely. I feel like you feel it more when you off that for sure. You feel like the mood.
Going back to like your album All In, like what are some of your personal favorite songs on off of that album?
I say my favorites are probably Cold for sure, Legacy, um, maybe like 007. I
Yeah.
like Mick Foley too,
Yeah.
a lot. The beginning is just like a very like it's a very energetic vibe. So it's like I like that part. But I say like my personal favorite is probably 007, Legacy, and what's the other one I said?
Cold.
And Cold. Yeah, I like Level Up too.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like those is like the most personal tracks.
Yeah. I like that, man. Cold. that's
Yeah,
that's my vibe right there, man. McFoley's like that track too that like you know how like every artist when they put out a body of work there's always like one to two to three tracks that really like stand out in your mind. And I think on that All In project, the more I listened to it this past week, it was for sure Mick Foley, Cold, and Little
yeah,
007, man. Those
yeah.
three, those stand out the most in my mind. Yeah.
Appreciate you, man.
Break the Bank too, and that single right there, man,
Yeah,
it's different.
yeah.
It's different. Who produced that track?
It's a producer called Young Now.
Oh,
I've
okay.
been working with him for a while, like just getting beats from him. He had hit me up initially, you know what I'm saying? He has like he be having packs, you know what I'm saying? So we just be working all the time. I have a bunch of beats sitting from him right now. It's just like the next album that I'm talking about is like gonna be a bunch of songs like over the course of a long period of time, you know what I'm saying? Some of them are new, some of them are like from Break the Bank's time, you know what I'm saying? When I was like in the car. You know what I'm saying?
How do you go about like breaking down like what songs you want to put together like on one project to the next?
I like to work with like producers, like have a one producer on the album or like one or two producers that have like similar vibes. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like each producer brings their own energy. So I feel like I would want to get like a different variety of beats from one producer and try to make the best I can out of that sound that they got. So basically, I get on like my favorite beats, the ones that speak to me in different ways, and I pick out like with all the beats that I get on, I pick out what are my favorite songs, which ones that I think are most representative of me and like my mindset and what I'm trying to communicate to the people. You know what I'm saying? There'll be a lot of songs that are like super hard, but they're like, it's just like I don't really want to put that energy out. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you, and I think that's good too that you like think in that sense of trying to make a full project like cohesive.
Right.
I think we live in like this generation where it's like very like everybody has a playlist, right?
Right.
It's just like random sounding songs, but
right.
to make like a cohesive body of work, I like that you think that way.
I try to think of it like as if I was already like an established artist. You know what I'm saying? Just like it's all like a body of work. I feel like I'm laying like the foundation right now. Saying your foundation got to be strong if you want to build a big house. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I feel like I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I see it, man. I see the progression from Hazy Days till All In. I like it. Sci-Fi the Chemist, man. He got some beats, man. He's very like I said. When I listen to his sound, it's very like that body of work is very like the beats. I could tell they go well together.
Like we was really going all in on it. Like we was constantly like calling back and forth and like, yo, what you think of this beat? I like that beat, you know what I'm saying? He's sending me packs. I'm just like, this beat, I like this right here. I'm sending him the songs. We just, bouncing ideas off each other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was like a very hands-on process.
Is he from the Bay Area too?
Nah, he's from Florida.
Oh, he's from Florida. Okay.
Yeah, he stayed in Florida.
Yeah, you guys have a good sound. I like it. Good chemistry.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think, variety is good too, though. I think, I guess it's kind of like, sometimes, if you go with different producers, they can bring a different kind of energy out of you as well.
Yeah.
Like whose production do you like?
You talking about like established producers?
Yeah. Is there anybody's sound you fuck with?
I like Metro's sound. I think Metro is like a production genius. I would definitely want to have like Kanye West produce a beat. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I feel like a lot of production is like, I don't be knowing like who really produced it because a lot of stuff is like kind of made the same way. I like producers that really like stand out with their individuality. That's why I was saying like Metro. I like Mike Will too. I don't know. I like a lot of producers. It's just like it would be hard for me to name.
Yeah.
I like No ID. No ID.
No ID. Yeah. He's good. He's a OG. Yeah. He's been doing it for a minute. I was gonna say, did you see that Shatta Spence, that Asian rapper with that Mike Will beat?
Nah.
Oh, okay. This guy, he's like a Vietnamese kid, but his latest single, like he hooked up with Mike Will, and then it's a pretty tough track. It's called Young and Humble.
Yep. Okay, I'm not to look at it.
Yeah. I'm dehydrated, man. I'm too high right now.
Hey, bro. I'm in the same boat.
Yeah. But water is always the best choice, I think, when you're smoking or you get too high.
I just like recently been realizing how bad like soda really is. Like, I don't know. It's just like hella sugar. Like, I'll just drink like a ginger ale. You know what I'm saying? Like every once in a while.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like stay away from like all that sugary stuff.
Yeah. Are you into like fitness?
A little bit. Like, I don't know. I like to hoop. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's where I get most of my workouts in, is hooping with the homies.
Are you nice with it?
I'm nice, man. When my shot is falling, I'm cold. You know what I'm saying? My game is really driving, but when my shot is falling, it's just like sometimes I just can't miss it.
Yeah. Did you see that J. Cole documentary with that he put out right before he put out like his new album?
I saw parts of it, like people putting it up.
I don't know if you remember this from the whatever clips you saw, but he said like he's like when he was like he just graduated from college or something, or he was still in college, and he was at a house party, and he said he was just really high and really drunk at that time, and he went out into the backyard. He left the party and he went into the backyard, and he was just thinking, and he had like an epiphany. He was like thinking about like basketball because he thought he wanted to be in the NBA.
Yeah.
But then looking back while he was in the backyard, he was like, man, I thought I was really doing something when I was doing these Iverson crossovers. And he's like, there's cats out there putting in like 1,000 shots a day.
Man, for real.
Yeah, he's like, how can I make it to the NBA when I think this Allen Iverson crossover is dope and that's it?
I had a similar realization, bro, at some point, bro.
Oh yeah, when was that?
I was like in high school. I mean, like I messed up my knee. You know what I'm saying? So I had to miss my sophomore season. But like in that time, I was just like, man, like I don't even really think I'm realistically that good. Like I didn't think at that time like I was good enough. Like I don't know, I could put in the work. Like, you know what I'm saying? But my mentality at the time was just like, I'm gonna start tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm just like, realistically, bro, it's like no way I could get good enough like to go to the league. Like, you know what I'm saying? My knee messed up, bro. It's time, bro. I was already smoking at the time, bro. I was just like, might as well get into something else. You feel me?
Yeah. How tall are you, man?
I'm like 6'1".
Oh, 6'1"?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, got you.
Doctor tell me I'm 6 foot, but everybody be like, you taller than that. Because I feel like everybody had an inch to their height. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what's up. But going back to like what J. Cole was saying,
yeah,
like when he was high and drunk in the backyard, he was like, all right, so he's like, I didn't make it in basketball. What else am I doing right now? And he was always like writing and creating music.
yeah.
But then he had that epiphany and he was like, do I want the same thing that happened in rapping that happened in basketball? Or am I willing to treat this rap thing as like a job or a career?
Yeah.
And he was like, if I want to make it, he's like, I gotta make a schedule and say, you know, and stick to it, you know. He elaborates more in the documentary about like his plan to become like a big rapper. So it was just kind of an interesting documentary. I thought maybe you might have peeped it out.
I've been trying to like get to that, bro. But I've been like out hanging with homies like just the past couple of days, bro, working with the album. I'm gonna probably have time tonight though. I really only had time to listen to that. I listened to like the Migos single. I listened to the Nicki Minaj. I listened to a couple of the Nicki Minaj songs, and I was like, I think I was like drunk that night or something, and I was just like trying to go to bed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's funny you bring that up, man, because I was gonna ask you, man. That was something that I had written down. Was what were your thoughts on that Migos straightening? You feel like that's a dope single, and what are your thoughts on straightening?
I think it's a good song. I don't know if it's like a Bad and Bougie, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's a cool song, like to lead up for the album. I think the way they teased it and like did all that, you know what I'm saying? I think it was cool. I don't think it was like, I don't know. I like the song though.
Straightening.
That verse that they kept playing from Quavo. Like I seen so many snippets of that Quavo verse. It was like I like Quavo's verse.
Yeah, I listened to it one time. It's a cool song. What do you think they mean by straightening? I have to go back and listen to it again, but
I think they're saying just like straightening stuff out. I think that's what they mean. I ain't never heard that really be used, but I mean that's what I would assume straightening is like. Just ain't nothing but straightening some stuff out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Got you. What about that Nicki Minaj joint? Like, did you? The only one I listened to was that the one with Lil Wayne and Drake. What was it called? Something Green.
Seeing Green, I think.
Oh, Seeing Green. Yeah.
I think, I don't know. I think it was cool. It was like a re-release though. You know what I'm saying? But I think, that song was tough. I definitely liked it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't get to listen to the whole thing, but I was just jumping on YouTube. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's not like her like studio album, right? That Nicki Minaj.
No, that was like a mixtape, like an old mixtape that she was like re-releasing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But she added some songs.
Nicki Minaj or Cardi B?
I have to say Nicki Minaj. I feel like maybe like a year ago I'd say Cardi B, but I think Nicki Minaj's body of work is like, I feel like Cardi B gotta do more for me to say Cardi B. I feel like Nicki Minaj, like lyrically, like I feel like people don't give Nicki Minaj lyrical credit because she do be having bars. Like even if you go back, you know, she really had the slaps for real.
Yeah, That's why I fuck with you too, man. You couldn't have said it any better than myself. But that's what I was thinking
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, that's how I feel. And also, like I feel like without Nicki, Cardi can't come in the game the way she do.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, always. I think there's always like like you said, people that paved the path before and kind of opened up doors, kind of like NWA, you know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, man. But in that book, though, Ruthless, Jerry Heller, are you familiar with him? I'm sure you are.
Yeah.
But like, it's his autobiography, so I'm reading it right now. I'm almost done. But he puts a lot of things into context with time and everything. But basically, he was saying in that book, like, he feels like he gets a bad rap in the industry, but he just talks about really his relationship with Eazy-E, like in this book, and like how close they were. And I think based off how he's perceived in like the media, I feel like some people might not believe it, but like when you read it, like I really like understand like what he's thinking, you know?
It's always interesting to like gain perspective from somebody who you initially like may not have liked or like may not have thought favorably of, you know what I'm saying? But when you see somebody else's perspective, it always sheds new light. Yeah. I always try to like be able to see both sides of things, because it's like it's always two sides to every story, three sides. There's one person's side, the other person's side, and the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so. That's facts, man. That's facts. Damn, you kicking some knowledge, man. But yeah, perspectives. Always seeing different perspectives is very important. How you feeling right now, man?
A little high.
I was smoking out of this earlier, man. This thing.
Those pens.
Yeah, have you ever tried some of these?
There was a point like my freshman year where I was just like only, because I don't know, I hadn't figured out where the smoke spot was at. So I was just like only smoking like vape carts, you know what I'm saying? It was from the dispo, but it was just like, I felt like it was destroying my life in a way. Like I felt like, I just kind of felt like I would be smoking. Like it got to a point where I would like smoke like half or like a whole one, like almost in a day. And I just felt like I would be too high, like for no reason. I would just be not wanting to do nothing, like, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, I felt like the more I had them, like the lazier I got. I felt like really like a stereotypical like lazy stoner, like for real. Like I was missing class. It was like bad. I was just like, man, I just got to start smoking some real weed. Like, you know what I'm saying? I like carts like every once in a while, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like the way I was smoking them was bad.
Yeah, they
definitely get you high as hell though.
You know how there was that vape, I don't know if you remember that vape cart scandal like in Wisconsin. You remember that?
Yeah,
where a lot of people were getting sick off of that. But I think it was probably just, you know, a lot of younger kids, they probably just like smoke it too much, you know.
Well, they were saying it was like cut with some bad stuff,
vitamin
E. Yeah, vitamin E. My homie is hella funny. My homie E, he always be joking. He be like, that vitamin E be hitting though. Like, you know, nah, man, this is bad though.
I think it's good that you're able to catch yourself though, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Because I felt like I kind of saw where it was going. I just felt like I wasn't able to like function properly.
Somebody was saying like, I can't remember like somebody, but like they were saying like, you know, when it comes to like any type of like drug or substance, whether it's food or even like what you were saying earlier about soda, like if it becomes something that you can't walk away from, then it's a problem. You know what I mean?
Everything in moderation for real. Like, yeah, I feel like once you get like attached to even like food, you know what I'm saying? Like you were saying, like unhealthy food, like everything in moderation, because too much of anything is gonna be bad for you. You eat too many salads, you know what I'm saying? It's probably a negative effect. It might be. You just, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Sometimes even myself, man, I'll be doing certain things and I'll catch myself and I'm like, man, I'm wasting too much time doing this shit right here, man.
Yeah. I mean, everybody, that happens to everybody, but I just feel like it's about catching yourself and like being able to make an adjustment, really.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. That's
real talk, man. I got to get some water, man. I don't know if you how you feeling right now, but I mean, if you want to keep going, we can keep going, but my mouth is kind of dry. I got to get some water.
I feel it, bro. We can keep going for a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, just let me know whenever you got to go, man. It's not a big deal to me, man. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, it's all good, bro.
All right.
Appreciate you for having me.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I appreciate you. Oh, man, I'm mad dehydrated, man. Just be talking too high and talking too much. I don't know if I can smoke anymore, man. I'm pretty high right now, but if you want to get higher, man, I can go with you.
You gotta rest your lungs, bro.
Yeah, man. For real, man. I've been feeling bad like all week. Like I had to stop, man. But you're right. You're right. I'm getting old, man. So I definitely gotta try to rest my lungs a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You still got young, healthy lungs.
I'm already starting to see a little wear and tear. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm always trying to like slow down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? As if I see like a place where I can slow it down a little bit, like prolong my health, I try. You know what I'm saying? At least try to like make an effort towards it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
You have a good mind. You can catch yourself. You know when you feel like, okay, I'm going too far right or too far left. Is there anything you're thinking of right now, man, that you're wondering about?
In terms of like what
Anything.
anything.
I like to freestyle off people's thoughts sometimes.
Only thing I'm focusing on right now is like when is the country gonna open back up? Like on the way, because it's like I don't know how are things in like LA, because I know LA was like real hot at one point.
Yeah.
Like
That's the thing. That's the thing about like these numbers, because I recently just checked like the LA like count, like LA County count, like how many people have got it, and then on a daily rate, and then compared to like the total population of LA County, and it's so small, man.
yeah, it is really like a small percentage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like probably by now, you know, everybody that needs to get vaccinated probably has gotten it. You know what I'm saying? Out here, it's like in SF, stuff's starting to open back up. I mean, they're saying like soon, like more stuff that you could do, like live performances. I know you could do shows out here now, I think. So it's like I think we're working towards it out here.
Yeah.
But I just know LA was like super. At one point, they were talking about LA was like the worst. You know what I'm saying? In America or something like that.
Yeah, they just hyped that up because I feel like there's just so many people like in the county, LA County. So it's, of course the numbers are going to be higher than
yeah, that's true.
Some places like in the Midwest or the South where the population's smaller.
Yeah.
But what I was going to ask you, like, what are your thoughts on like the vaccine?
I don't know. I'm interested to see like what happens like down the line. Like, cause you know, you always see them commercials. Like, did you take this in 1996? You know what I'm saying? You may be entitled to compensation. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm kind of just like a little. I don't know about apprehensive. I think everybody that needs to get it and is at risk should get it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I think it's good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I had to get it like for a job or, you know, for a particular reason, I'll get it, you know, for the safety of people around me at the least. You know, how you feel about that?
How do I feel about it, man? Man, I think you're right, man. I think you're right. I think there's definitely people that are at higher risk of contracting it. So they definitely, I feel like, should probably get it. But then there's like the younger people that, you know, are more healthy, and maybe there's so many, because people recover from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's hard to say, and I don't know, man. Going back to like conspiracies though, man. Like, I was watching this shit last night, man. It was called Shadow Government. And like they're talking about like how, you know, everybody is under close surveillance, you know, through the government. Like, you know, we everything they do, we monitor us, right?
Yeah.
Even like the shit right here that we're talking, you know, somebody might be listening or watching, right?
Right.
You never know. But in the shadow government, like they were saying, like they have enough technology to like detect like a flu or virus outbreak within like a couple weeks.
Really?
Yeah. So I was thinking, if that is true, there's that technology that could do that. Like, I feel like this whole thing could have just been spread intentionally.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of conspiracies going into it. Like,
yeah,
there's a lot of people have a lot of different stances that I've been seeing. Like even about like masks, like people are so. It seems like some people are so torn on like we don't need these masks, or
What is it like in Hercules right now?
it's pretty calm out here. You know what I'm saying? Places are starting to say like I know Trader Joe's just said like you can go up in there if you have the vaccine, you can go in there without a mask. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. I think it's starting to open back up like in this area. You know what I'm saying? Out here is still people still got masks and everything.
Mm.
I think my county is separate from like San Francisco and like Alameda County, which is like where Oakland and all those other cities is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think like the CDC, they just reported like if you have the vaccine, like you don't have to wear your mask anymore.
Yeah, yeah, I heard that.
But you know, one thing like about wearing the mask, like all pretty much all last year, is I didn't really get sick like with like a flu or a cold. Because when you go out, you're just more protected. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, that's nice.
you're not
Yeah,
you're not.
honestly, I feel
Uh-huh.
like the mask was like cool, like in the winter, like when it's hella cold. I feel like the mask is actually cool. Like I don't know, face don't get as cold.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like in them Asian countries, right? Like in Japan and shit, where even before the pandemic, they rock masks whenever they went
Yeah,
out. You know?
yeah, facts.
Do you think that Asian like hate crime shit is like real or is it propaganda?
I think it's real. Honestly, I mean, I don't know. I think it's just getting a lot of media coverage. You know what I'm saying? So people are talking about it, but I think it's really real. Like I think the incidents that they're like talking about that are isolated are definitely like hate crimes for sure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And it's like I don't know. You gotta like vocalize stuff like that because it's like you can't just be having stuff like that going unnoticed. You know what I'm saying? You gotta stop it like when it happens. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. That's facts. That's facts.
For sure.
I was gonna ask you, what were your thoughts like during the presidential election? Were you like in tune with that, or you're like, man, fuck, that's all that shit's all fake?
I was in tune, but it was kind of just like I don't know. I was just more interested in seeing what happened. Like I don't think either of the candidates were like my favorite. Like I don't know. I think they both like have good and bad parts, but you know what I'm saying. I feel like Joe Biden has people around him that are gonna like not let him slip up. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I wasn't. I don't know. I wasn't like too interested because I felt like either way it was gonna be like kind of similar outcomes. Because the thing is with a lot of politicians, bro, it's like Democrat or Republican. A lot of them really have the same politics. They're just trying to appeal to a different audience. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you just gotta really pay attention to like what they're really about. Like what are they gonna do? Like historically, what type of things have they done? So,
yeah.
I don't know.
No, I agree. I agree 100%, man. Like that's real. That's exactly how I feel about politics too, man. Like I feel like it's I'll put it this way, man. Like, and this might sound fucked up, man, but this is just how I feel like today, like in this
Yeah,
moment is like I don't vote, man.
yeah, I feel it.
I don't vote, man.
I
I'm an
feel it.
independent man, and like I feel like people shouldn't be obligated to vote.
Yeah,
You know, like a lot of times people will say, there's a lot of people that fought for the right to vote. You know what I mean? And which is true.
yeah,
Which is true. I agree with that. I feel like everybody should
yeah,
have the right to vote, but
yeah.
I think everybody should have the right to say I don't want to vote too, man.
No, I mean, saying you have the right to vote also means you have the right to decide not to.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I think to each his own. People can, as long as you're happy with the way things is going, man. I just feel like it don't really matter that much. Everything is like people get caught up in like stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's really not that important.
yeah. And I think a lot of times people like they like to complain about their taxes. I don't know. Have you ever heard about people who do that?
Yeah,
Most like I think average citizens like they won't no matter like the tax shift. If it goes
yeah,
up or down, through whichever party, like I don't think it's really gonna affect like everybody's day to day that much where they're at currently.
yeah,
Yeah, unless something like drastic happens in their life. But for the most part, like I think those a lot of times those tax laws it's more for like big businesses and like
yeah.
yeah. Because I
I
was
think it.
yeah. Go
Yeah,
ahead. Sorry.
it's like it'd be like the really wealthy people that are concerned about tax and stuff like that. The people that are like I don't know, other people that like got caught, like I don't know, endorsed Trump for the taxes. You know what I'm saying? It's like I noticed like big businesses tend to go for whoever's gonna have the lowest taxes, just like for monetary reasons. Because everybody votes like, you know what I'm saying, for their own interests at the end of the day.
When I hear sometimes my family members like they'll be complaining about taxes and stuff, I'm like, yo, look at like people like Michael Jordan and LeBron James, right?
Right.
They're like a big business themselves, right? Their name. So
Yeah.
they probably make so much money like every year, every month that they don't even feel it, you know?
Yeah.
It's just numbers fluctuating. Yeah, I wonder what those kind of people like they talk about, you know, like all the people that are like ultra wealthy.
They talk about the stock market, man. You know what I'm saying? Stuff. I feel like they're talking about stuff like that.
Are you into like the stock market, or you're not worried about it right now?
I want to get into it, but I'm not trying. I'm not worrying too much about it right now. I
Yeah.
feel like when I'm more comfortable, I'm gonna start investing in it. You know what I'm saying? Try and double up. You know, when I have like enough money that I could lose, you know, a little bit, you know, not be devastated. You know what I'm saying? I be hearing stories, bro. People bet their whole life savings on something in a tank. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's I can't do that, man.
Yeah.
Got to be able to have a couple options. You know what I'm saying? Because all it takes is one to go great. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, I think even like with like the stock market and like cryptocurrency, like I feel like those markets they're all manipulated by the wealthy people, like the ultra wealthy people. You know what I mean?
With Elon Musk and the Dogecoin, man, the other day.
Oh yeah, what happened with that?
I think he did something to the stock market because he tweeted something out about like supporting Dogecoin. Basically, he supports it a lot, but he tweeted something that had a bunch of people like going and investing in it. And I think it like shifted the market, and people were like reacting on Twitter. I just be seeing like I'll scroll through the trending stuff on Twitter, and if it looks interesting to me, like it involves somebody that I'm interested in, I'll just click on and see what people are talking about and just be like, because a lot of times it'd be really nonsense. Like sometimes it'll be like a clip that's like 10 seconds, and it's like if you really just go watch the whole clip, it makes perfect sense. But it's like stuff be in context, in the wrong context. So I try like not to take stuff I see on Twitter too seriously. You feel me?
Yeah. That's like most like mainstream media is always taken out of context, right?
Yeah, always. Man. It's always out of context.
Yeah, but I feel like, yeah, it's just that's like there's so much money involved in like mainstream media, and you notice that they only target people that have a name. For example, like Joe Rogan, right? Like he wasn't like on the radar until he signed that Spotify contract and took the money.
Yeah.
Then he became a target in mainstream media, and everybody's trying to take what he says like out of context.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like I don't know. The mainstream audience is like very. You always have split like opinions. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like such a mass, like broad spectrum of people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like when you get to that point, it's just like you gotta just stay in tune with like your supporters. You know what I'm saying? Don't even pay attention to all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's just like people be on there, like I be looking through people's comments. It's just like nonsense, bro. People are just like tweeting crazy stuff or like commenting. You know what I'm saying? Whatever.
Yeah. It's important not to, I think, like go with like either the popular opinion or like just like off of headlines. You know,
Yeah.
You know how people just read the headline and they'll be like, and then that becomes their news without even like, as you said, when you open it or watch the whole thing and you get the full context, you have a better perspective of like what they're really trying to say. So
I mean, it's like those clickbait YouTube videos, man. It's like the same thing. The headline is like crazy. If you actually read the article, it's not even like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say like some clickbait is necessary though. I feel like.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Yeah. I feel like, for example, like if I go back and like watch this episode and I find like interesting points of the conversation, like in order to like market like the podcast, I have to like find like a kind of make it seem interesting, right? But still tell the truth, you know?
Yeah. No, that's just like putting stuff out.
Yeah.
You gotta do that always to a certain extent.
Yeah. I
Just
think,
market. You know
yeah. Even
but
with,
I mean,
mhm.
I'm talking about people that's like just spinning the story like crazy.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Like on the music side though, like you said you have a new project coming out when?
I'm shooting for like September. We're gonna see what happens with it.
And are you working with the same producer, or you're going like with different producers this time?
It's a different producer. It's the producer that produced Break the Bank.
Oh, okay.
So
So that's
it's like an expansion on that kind of song.
got you. Yeah, that'd be dope. I'll be looking forward to that, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Any positive words you want to tell the people that are listening, or any shout outs or anything? Go for it, man.
Shout out Sci-Fi. Shout out all the homies. You know what I'm saying? Shout out TL. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, out to the people watching, man, keep grinding. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I respect that, man.
Word.
Yeah, I appreciate your time today, man. Like, I feel like you dropped a lot of knowledge and wisdom, man.
Appreciate you for having me, man. It's
Yeah.
like a dope, like how do I say it? Like a dope setup, like a good conversation.
Yeah, thank you, man. Like, I look at like Joe Rogan, man, and I try to gain inspiration from him. You know.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
I guess it's like not so much now, like, because once you kind of see what they do, you can. It's just about putting it into practice, right? And then evolving into what you think you can become.
Right.
Yeah.
That's facts.
But yeah, always got to have like motivation and inspiration from somebody, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right on, man. Yeah, whenever you get ready to drop the new project, man, I'll be listening to it, and then if you want to chop it up again about it, I'll be down.
Yeah. Definitely. You gotta do that.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, man. I appreciate your time. So,
Appreciate you for having me.
yes, sir. I'll be in touch, man. Hit me up anytime on IG if you think of anything.
All right, for sure. I got you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, man.
All right, bro.
All right. Have
Peace,
a good
bro.
day. Yep.
You too, bro.
All right. Thank you.